Hi there. Welcome to the Yoga for Tennis Breathing Challenge, day 2. If you missed day 1 of the Yoga for Tennis Breathing Challenge, feel free to review that video first as a base for the rest of the challenge that we're doing in honor of National Yoga Month, September, but also in honor of your desire to want to improve your tennis game. So today we'll be working on a technique called straw breathing. This comes from the breathing book by Donna Farhi. And this mimics the type of breath that we use while hitting our strokes, that exhaling as we hit. Tomorrow on day 3 of the challenge, we'll be working on specifics with how to do this exactly in movement, first on the mat and then on the court. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so, where I'll be releasing the rest of the Yoga for Tennis Breathing Challenge every day this week at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. And if you can't access, you don't have the time this week, I'll be placing these videos on a playlist created specifically for the challenge. So you can check them out at any time. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And please let me know what you think of this exercise, as well as any questions or comments you have on yoga for tennis breathing in general. So the props you'll need for today are a straw and just something to sit on. I'm sitting on a yoga bolster and a blanket. You could be sitting in a chair too if that's more comfortable for your low back, your hips. Once you get a little more acquainted with the exercise, you could potentially do this on your back as well. The book says that you can substitute, if you don't have a straw, that you could use some fun things such as using a harmonica or recorder. You could be blowing bubbles instead, or maybe you even use a licorice whip at home. So hopefully I have a straw. I've got my bamboo straw with me today. And let me tell you a little bit about the purpose behind this exercise. So the inhalation comes as a result of a full exhalation. And in many breathing holding patterns, the ability to exhale has been diminished. So the beauty of this exercise is that you're not thinking about manipulating your breath at all. You're just thinking about breathing through the straw. And so this is what we want to mimic on court, focusing on that exhalation. Could be in the form of a grunt. It doesn't have to be necessarily, so that the inhalation naturally occurs. So over time with practice, both off and on the court, this becomes a little more of a habit. So we'll do this seated today, but once you learn, again, you're going to take that out onto your practices first in a little more of a controlled setting, and then eventually into your matches, as I mentioned before. So as a base for all of our other breathing exercises, we want to practice breath awareness. So we ended with that on the first day of the challenge. We're going to start with that, and then we'll get into our straw breathing. So I'm going to put my straw off to the side, and this is where I want you to find a comfortable seat. Hopefully you're able to be perched up on your sit bones nicely so that you're able to sit up nice and tall with comfort. Again, you could be seated in a chair. And I'd like you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Otherwise, you might fix your eyes on a single point out in front of you. And so for a brief moment, feel the heaviness of your hips on whatever you're choosing to sit on today. Could be a cushion, could be that chair seat. Connect to the heaviness of your hips as a literal reminder of where you are. Beginning your yoga practice. Apart from everything it was that you were doing before you came, apart from everything that might happen after you leave. And as you feel the heaviness of your hips, notice where else your legs meet the ground. And from the base of your lower half, begin to sit up a little taller in through your upper half. And as you start to feel yourself physically, I want you to begin to notice your breath. So there's no wrong way to notice the breath. You might start with where you feel your breath in your body. Where does it feel obvious? So it could be the belly, it could be the chest. Could be the throat, could be somewhere else I'm not mentioning. And if it's quiet enough where you are, you might connect to the breath and noticing what the breath sounds like, even if it's only loud enough for you to hear internally. No need to make the breath sound louder. And then finally, be with the quality of the breath. This can be felt in the tip of the nose. It could be in observing how the inhalations feel in comparison to the exhalations. Sometimes one breath is naturally longer than the other. And so for just a couple more moments, be with the breath and the breath alone. Your only job is to notice when your mind strays, and can you invite yourself to come back? And then go ahead and gently open your eyes. All right, so hopefully you're a little more aware of your breath, and that's the very first stage of yoga for tennis breathing that's super helpful in between points, on changeovers. The breath is something that we always have with us, so that's why it's one of yoga's greatest tools to help us out in our tennis game. So I'm going to take a hold of my straw, or you might be using one of those other things that I mentioned before. And basically, what you're going to do is you're going to place the straw in your mouth and you want to hold it with your hand. You don't want to just simply hold it with your mouth because you could be contracting additional muscles in your face and in your jaw. So basically, the practice is that you're going to breathe in through the nose and you're going to blow out through the mouth into the straw, working gently. So it'll look like this. And when you take your inhalations, it's helpful to touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth so that this will prevent you from breathing in through the mouth as well. So again, we're looking for an inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth into the straw. And you're looking for, at the end of the exhalations, to allow the inhalations to arise spontaneously. The incoming breath should feel effortless, and you're trying to trust this to happen without initiating the inhale within the chest and the shoulders. So let's try this together for a small period of time. At home, you could do this on your own for 2 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So you're going to continue on your own as I give you some of these reminders that I've given you so far. You're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth into the straw. So then continue on your own. Remember that you're working gently on those exhalations. Remember that you can touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth if you're finding that you're wanting to inhale through the mouth by mistake. Allow inhalations little by little to arise a little more spontaneously. Allow the incoming breaths to feel effortless. Little by little, trusting this to happen without initiating the inhale. And so if any reason this feels panicky, it might be because it seems counterintuitive to not put the emphasis on the inhale. You could always stop, take a couple of natural breaths before you repeat once you feel calm and ready once again. And so go ahead and let go of the straw breathing. If you're still doing that, maybe place the straw off to the side and just take a couple of moments to see how you feel after incorporating this breath. Remember that we're never looking to perfect any of these practices. We don't need our breath practices, our yoga to become another stress in our lives. We have enough of that already. And so if you find this helpful, you can incorporate this into your daily routine. Maybe for a few moments before stepping out on court, it would be a really nice centering practice. As a quieting exercise before you go to bed, that would be a nice way to practice also. And these small steps go a long way. We don't have to make these practices into just another huge thing that we have to do. Very small steps every day go a long way. Maybe just practice for a minute here and there. And so let me know what you think of the straw breathing exercise, how you felt before and after. Remember to subscribe to my channel to keep up with the rest of the challenge this week. And thank you for taking the time and improving your game with yoga for tennis. I'm looking forward to the rest of the challenge here with you for the rest of the week and in subsequent practices that I release every Tuesday for Yoga for Tennis Tuesdays. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste.